an incredibly exciting and competitive weekend here at Road America, America's national park of speed, as the USF junior drivers have been putting on a show through 2 races of a triple header. We are ready to go for race number 3. Hello, race fans. My name is Rob Howden, the voice of this USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. And joining me now here on the pre-race show from D-Force, Joshua Leonel, the Skip Barber graduate who has done so well here throughout the season, getting better and better. Joshua, let's talk about this weekend. The draft number 1, right? Learning that situation, just the track itself. How's the weekend gone for you?
Well, a rough start in the beginning, but over in practice, we've been moving in great steps. Overall, top 10 pace. It's kind of unfortunate in race 1, but overall, it's been a pretty solid weekend on pace. So if I just continue just to put it together, I think it'll be good.
Let's talk about race number 2 as well. The draft obviously was there. It was a breakaway at one point, but you guys all started closing back up into the draft. What were your thoughts on that? Was it just to hit your marks, knowing you'd eventually get there?
Draft is interesting here because if I make a tiny mistake here and there, then you lose the draft, and it's kind of hard to get back. But as soon as you get back, and then you just have to stay in the draft, because defending, where I was losing in defending, I would lose a little bit of time in the entry, and then the guys ahead would actually pull away. But that was one of the big learning points of this weekend. So hopefully I can put it together in race 3 and time my defending moves and try to get a better exit out of turn 3.
There's just so many intricacies, right, in drafting. One of the key things that were big for us this year is, of course, the Skip Barber Racing School, our official school. 2 times a runner-up for you in that program. Let's talk about the transition from Skip Barber to USF Juniors. A lot of drivers are doing that now. What was it like making the step up to juniors?
It was a little bit challenging here and there, but a lot of things I've learned in the Skip Barber Racing School, I transferred over to the USF Junior. But that's really what helped me, because if I wouldn't have gone through the Skip Barber Racing School, I don't know where I would be at right now. But it's super, their program, Skip Barber Racing School program, is the way to go. For any driver from karting to just wanting to get into cars, that's the perfect entry point to get you ready for a USF Pro Championships.
So let's talk about today, this afternoon. One more race, race number 3. What are your thoughts on the start? You're now getting a feel for the draft. What are your expectations?
I got to be aggressive. But be smart at the same time. I just got to watch my defending here and there, because sometimes, there was points where there was a guy behind me, and he was going to make a move. But if I go up to defend, then we're both going to lose time. So there was points where I just swapped cars, and we were able to catch up back to the pack. So right now, I think really I just have to manage the draft and go from there.
Best of luck today.
Thank you.
So Joshua Leonel and Skip Barber, obviously one of the great storylines in the USF Pro Championships this year. Another one is siblings. We've got families racing with us. We have one Weldon here this year. We're going to get another one likely in Oliver next year. We've got the Gonzalez brothers as well at the D-Force Driver Development Program. But we also have another this weekend sibling duo, Evan Cooley and his younger brother Brendan Cooley, on track at the same time. I had a chance to catch up with both of those drivers before the race. Over the years of the USF Pro Championships, we've had different siblings, different families who've been part of the program. Well, we had another one here right now with the brothers Cooley. They're here this weekend at Road America. We'll start with the young driver here, Brendan Cooley, who's been sitting on the sidelines all year, ready to go. He's going to be full-time in 2025, but you finally get a chance to come and run. You've been testing like crazy. How excited are you for this weekend?
It's very exciting. I mean, to actually finally be part of this show and actually be on track, and it's a lot more fun than sitting on the sidelines, and just learning and just getting ready for next year is just the best thing I can do to try and be at the front.
Let's talk about the day as well, of course, right? You started X, your baseline. You kept getting faster all day on Friday. You're going to go racing Saturday and Sunday. How did Friday go for you?
Friday went pretty well. I got faster every session, learned a few things, got more confident in the high speed with Road America being a high-speed track, and just improved on my skill more every session.
Let's jump over to his brother Evan Cooley, we've seen, of course, in USF Juniors and in USF 2000 this year. Evan, how excited are you to get back at it, finish off the season in Juniors, then think about going 2000 racing?
Yeah, really excited for this weekend. My first time at Road America here. Testing went pretty well today. I think we were P2 in the second test session today. So just going to build off that for tomorrow for quality in the races.
I know that Brendan's been sitting in on all the driver debriefs, right, going over data, but now he's your teammate right now. How's it feel sitting down and really working with him? Do you kind of have that kind of relationship?
Yeah, it's really cool, honestly, having my brother as a teammate now. It's we have a lot of chemistry, I guess you could say. So we work well together. It's helpful to have extra data as always as well. I help coach him as well.
eventually I'll be able to use the term sibling rivalry, because now as you get more speed, Brendan, you're going to be racing him. He's going USF 2000 next year. You'll be by yourself in junior. But can you take it to him this weekend?
Oh yeah, I plan on doing that. It's going to be fun having the sibling rivalry to push each other to go faster and just improve.
One of the great things, obviously, we talk about this as well, is you're getting a chance to kind of dip your toe in the water this year, right? Full season next year in 2025. How important do you think it is for you to get one race under your belt this year?
It helps a lot, honestly, learning some racecraft to be more experienced than the new people coming in next year. It gives you another edge that some people might have, and really help for next season.
Best of luck.
Thank you. You too.
We've got the Gonzalez brothers. Now we have the Cooley brothers here in USF Juniors. It's going to be a fantastic weekend here at Road America.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the years, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our most electrifying dream yet. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Made to inspire the newest generation of dreamers so they can make their dreams a reality. The all-new, all-electric Prologue from Honda.
Welcome back to Road America, and indeed time to go racing. The final event of this triple header for the USF Juniors category. The race earlier today was really tremendous. In fact, you look at both races, the yellow flags that we had, the stoppages were not for any major incidents up front. We had one driver with a stuck throttle yesterday, G3 Argyros, and earlier today, a single car incident for Hudson Potter down coming out of turn number 14, an incident we've seen countless times here at Road America, just dropping a wheel and looping that car around. Otherwise, it's been very exciting for the young drivers here on the very first step of this USF Pro Championships, this USF Juniors program. Again, drivers getting set to go. Let's have a look at the grid. 23 drivers set to roll off here. Let's start at the tail of the field. Griffin Yellen, who's doing double duty here this weekend, just got out of his Skip Barber car, having run that race, the second race of their doubleheader, back into the Jay Howard driver development number 7. The rookie Griffin Yellen starting 23rd. Row number 11 will have JT Hoskins on the outside. In the number 6, the driver to Sarasota, Florida, the rookie for Jay Howard driver development. His second weekend running here in the USF Juniors program. And then alongside him, Brendan Cooley, the young driver we just talked about, had a little bit of issue in race number 2, but looks forward to working his way up through the grid here for Exclusive Autosport in race number 3. Cooley in that number 94 out of Frankfort, Illinois. Up to row number 10 now, Patricio Gonzalez on the outside for D-Force driver development, the Mexican rookie in the number 19, alongside Hudson Potter in the number 26 for Inter MS Potter at Lexington, Kentucky. Again, the issue there in race number 2, but he had a very strong race number 1, finished 13th, so watch for him to find some better results here. Row number 9, I look for Diego Guillo to move his way forward. Guillo in the number 12 for Zanella Racing, a top 10 finish in race number 1. Watch for him to move his way forward as well. Alongside him, Michael Boyadzis, very quick in Friday testing for Jay Howard driver development, the number 4, starting in the 17th position. Row number 8, Michael Succo on the outside in the number 10. A number of drivers getting their best lap times here in qualifying from race 2, not their second best lap times in qualifying. So Michael Succo being one of those drivers who went faster in race 2 than his second fastest time in qualifying. Succo starting in the 16th spot in the number 10. Alongside him, Texan Brady Golan in the number 18 for D-Force Racing. Up to row number 7 on the outside, Rodrigo Gonzalez for D-Force driver development, the rookie in the number 20 starting 14th, alongside João Vergara in the number 90 for Exclusive Autosport, currently sitting 8th place in the points, a couple of top 10 finishes for Vergara. A fantastic weekend so far for him, looking to cap it off to try to lock himself down to potentially top 7 in the championship battle. Row number 6 will have Timmy Carell on the outside for Jay Howard driver development, the rookie in the number 8. He's been having a solid weekend and showed great speed from the get-go on Friday. Alongside him, D-Force Racing's Joshua Leonel, the number 15, the driver who led us off in the pre-race show. into the top 10 now on the outside of row number 5. It will be G3 Argyros. Podium in race number 2 after a couple of penalties were laid down. Argyros, the Californian for Jay Howard Driver Development in the 63. Alongside him, Evan Cooley in the number 91 for Exclusive Autosport. He's had a strong weekend so far. I think may have a car with the ability to, for sure, podium, maybe even score his first race win. Jack Jeffers will start the one row up. His teammate Exclusive Autosport, Jeffers on the outside of row number 4, starting in the number 92 machine. He moves up a spot to 5th place in points. Only 15 markers, I believe, out of the second place position. So Jeffers needs another good run here. He'll start alongside Augie Soto Sharipa, who finished third on the road in race number 2, but a penalty for blocking moved him down the order. Soto Sharipa, the 24 for Inter MS, starting in the 7th spot. Moving up into row number 3 on the outside, 6th position, coming off a big race win, his 3rd win of the season, Ariel Elkin from Israel in the number 25 for Inter MS, most definitely still in the championship fight. He'll try to go back to the front. He knows for a number of these drivers they have to get closer to Max Taylor, so Ariel Elkin will be on the move. Alongside him, best career starting position for Christian Cameron, the driver to Sonoma, California, the number 70 for VRD Racing, P5, starting on the inside of row number 3. Up now to row 2 on the outside, Liam McNeely. Man, this guy came in here right in the middle of the championship fight, 2nd place in points, but 2 DNFs, having been bumped out from rear contact in both the 1st and 2nd races. He needs a big bounce back here right now. Liam McNeely in the 9 machine for Jay Howard Driver Development, starting in 4th. Alongside him, another top qualifying effort on the year, Zedella Racing's Leonardo Scorpioni in the 55. Will start on the inside of row number 2, race to his fastest lap as well. But on the front row, the VRD teammates Sebastian Weldon and Max Taylor. Weldon, his 2nd qualifying time, his best, the number 98 machine starting 2nd. And Max Taylor, who after getting dumped off the track over in turn number 3, fought his way back up to 8th, got a couple positions on penalty to 6th, so not as bad a day as it could have been for Max Taylor. Race 2, though, his fastest lap, he laid down a 2:14.571, which is a track record. So track record for Max Taylor in terms of the race record. Good job for Max, driver to Hoboken, New Jersey. There is the field right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at the points as they run right now. We have that graphic set up for you here, obviously trying to keep up with all the action that's happening right now on track. Here are the points as they run. Max Taylor, there's the advantage right now for Taylor, who obviously is going to be pretty thrilled with that at this point here. Taylor has a solid advantage, 42 points right now over Ariel Elkin. That's more than a full race. Liam McNeely back by 4 from Elkin. Look how close it is for the top 5, though. Only 15 points separates Elkin from Jack Jeffers in P5. Jeffers only 3 points behind Weldon. Weldon 8 points behind McNeely. So the fight for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th is very tight. They're going to need to keep digging to get to Max Taylor. But again, lots of points up for grabs. Still 32 points up for grabs here today. Taylor getting the Continental Tire Pole Award, $500 plus 1 point. But there's still 99 points up for grabs when we get to Portland in just 2 weeks' time. So indeed, lots still to happen here as drivers rolling out onto the racetrack to get things underway. Let's have a quick chance to talk about that car pacing our field. It's the beautiful new Honda Civic Type R pace car, the most powerful Honda production vehicle ever sold in the U.S. with a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine producing an incredible 315 horsepower. The smooth and precise 6-speed manual transmission features a revised rev match system, helping to maintain stability on corner entry and a limited slip differential that puts the engine's power to the pavement effectively. The Civic Type R leverages Honda's racetrack-proven engineering to deliver extreme performance and passion both on the road and on the racetrack. And we need all of that right now with a bunch of very light, snarling race cars. 8 USF juniors behind them. Good friend of mine, Nick Neri, behind the wheel of the pace car here for us today. VP Racing as well, one of our great partners here in the USF Juniors program. VP Racing is the exclusive fuel supplier for all 3 levels of the USF Pro Championships. In 2021, VP expanded their role and became the official lubricant and coolant. In addition to VP Racing engine oil and VP Racing gear oil, this includes VP Racing's new line of Stay Frosty performance engine coolants. We talked about the Skip Barber Racing School, our official school. Talked to Joshua Leonel earlier today on the pre-race show. Skip Barber, their Formula Car Series, were on track with us here this weekend. Lots more racing still to come. So if you're a young kart racer or somebody who wants to get into motorsports, Skip Barber and that Formula Car School, you do the 3-day school, do a bunch of lapping days, get into that Formula Car school. A $100,000 scholarship to USF juniors available to the champion of that program. They still have a number of races left on the docket. It's some pretty amazing racetracks like this one here at Road America. So we'll have to find out which driver ends up becoming the champion and getting that scholarship to move to USF juniors next year. But if you're a young karter looking to move up, think about the Skip Barber Racing School. Great way to learn the fundamentals of racing, the fundamentals of driving at speed. Fantastic race cars. That is one you want to focus on for sure. And we'll see. I think we're going to see at least 3, maybe 4 or 5 drivers from this year's Skip Barber Formula Race Series moving up to juniors next year. So the development has definitely been fantastic. Drivers working their way down through the cattle bottoms as we get set to go again for what will be a 10-lap race with a 40-minute window. Shout out to all those of you folks that are tuning in right now to the broadcast here on the YouTube channel. These drivers here in USF Juniors, anywhere from 14 years of age. We have a 24-year-old driver as well with the opportunity to go racing, Augie Soto Sharipa. So a 10-year span for all the drivers in the program. But it is time to go racing. Up out of Canada Corner through Billy Mitchell Bend. They'll come back 2 by 2. Taylor on the inside. Weldon on the outside. They'll wait till they get into the punch-off area. Remember, you got to wait for the pole sitter to go. Lining things up. Pretty quick coming out of 14. 2 down, 1 to go. Triple header here at Road America. 75 degrees and sun, a little bit of cloud. Perfect weather here at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin for what will be the final race of the day. Focusing on the flagman, it is time to go racing. Beautiful setup up the hill, and it is time to fire things up. Green, green, green! And a great jump for Max Taylor. Weldon, who got a jump start penalty in race number 2, tucks back into the inside of the racetrack. Big run down. Now they'll start to tuck out. Weldon's looking to go to the outside of Taylor. Not quite enough. Coming to the inside is one of the Inter-MS cars. Thinking about making the move to the inside, as was a Scorpione. He thought about going to the inside of Weldon. He will go back to P5. One driver able to make a move up. I want to say that might have been McNeely. I think McNeely's gone to 3rd. Scorpione holds on to 4th. Great job for the drivers so far coming through 1, 2, and 3. 23 drivers taking the green. Here comes Weldon with a big run down the outside. He may get the pass cleared by the time they get even into the braking zone, but this is a tough braking zone. Downhill, lengthens the braking zone into that tight, decreasing radius corner. Let's make sure everybody comes through here cleanly. You got to give room to the driver on the outside, but there is lots of runoff, as you can see. A lot of the drivers going all the way up onto that exit curbing there on the outside. 2 wide coming up to 6. Of course, that's that blind corner, top of the hill. Crest the hill, trust on the turn in to get to the apex. A lot of the aspects of racing that these young drivers have to develop. The trust in the car, trust in your engineers, your coaches, your spotters. And again, just trusting on your ability to pick up that racetrack. Remember, for so many drivers, many of them have tested here. Some came for the first time here. And that track walk on Thursday evening where they got a chance to really take a good look at the track up close and personal with their coaches, what curbing to take, what curbing not to take. Some of it's much more aggressive. And then, of course, the track walk into the opening test session on Friday where you link together all you learn from that track walk for the first time when you're sitting in the cockpit of your car. Crucial session to link it all together. Weldon continues to try to go by. We got an opportunity. I wonder if we can pull up my keys to the race. Didn't do that on the opening circuit. I do have keys to the race here. If we can bring that up, I'll get a chance to go over that. Oh, we're getting crazy coming out of Billy Mitchell Bend. Back through turn number 40. Here's the keys to the race, I think, folks. Manage to start. And these drivers have done that. We're almost through the opening lap. I don't want to jinx it, but they've managed to start. They all gave each other room. Excellent job of Scorpione now up into the 2nd spot. This is a track you have to focus on exit speed. You got to make sure that you don't make a move to the inside of a turn 3 where you give up so much room. You're not going to get the pass done there. Taylor's going to bring them down into turn number 1. So focus on the exit speed to maximize the top end. And last but not least, you're going to see a lot of this. Manage the draft. One driver's got looped around. That is Jack Jeffers has gone around in turn number 1. Jeffers around in 1, 5th place in points. Another driver off over in turn number 3. 2 of them connected. That looks like, I think, one of the Jay Howard cars. That might even be Max Taylor and McNeely. Whether or not Jeffers is stuck in turn number 1, can he get that car out? He went around in turn number 1, backed it into the gravel. He looked like he was stuck for a second. No, pace car is out. Full course yellow. So the full course yellow is out. We had 2 incidents on the track. Jeffers around in turn 1. Looked to me like contact from the back. They're going to be able to get him onto the track without him losing any time, I believe, once the AMR IndyCar safety crew gets out there. So luckily, I think that they're able to get him back on. And then I have to feel like it was Taylor and potentially McNeely, although it may have been another driver. We'll see. 2 drivers off. Again, I talked earlier in the race about the fact that there's still lots of points up for grabs on the weekend. 33 points total is what you can get for a weekend. 1 point for qualifying on pole, 1 point for most laps led, 1 point for fastest lap, and 30 points for the race win. So 33 points total. There's going to be 99 up for grabs after this weekend. They're going to do what they can right now to get this number 92 of Jack Jeffers out of the gravel. They're up there quickly. And he's going to be hoping they get this thing done quickly because he wants to get back out onto the racetrack. Keep my eye on the chat on the feed of somebody asking about Ava Dobson, who was one of the drivers in the USF Juniors program earlier this year. She was involved in that nasty shunt at Barber Motorsports Park in race number 1. On the sidelines for a while with some concussion symptoms. Has been in the gym working out, but also did a race in GB4 in Europe, in England, earlier this month. So she's been back behind the wheel already. So we'll hope to see her again. I think she's planning a full-time program in 2024. They're getting Jeffers cleaned up here. I think he's fired up, and he's back away. So shout out to the crew to get Jeffers back underway again. Now, for Jeffers, he's got to catch all the way back up, because they're not going to be able to go green this time by. The crew obviously still up in turn number 1. But once they do get here, I'll give you the full field rundown, and I'll finally figure out exactly who it was. It looked to me like a VRD car and a Jay Howard car, and I don't know whether or not it was McNeely and Taylor, but we'll find out when they come up the hill. Yeah, oh, there's Taylor right there. So it was a different car. So tough with the cars we have here. So many of them with very similar liveries. Coming across the line, Taylor, Weldon, Scorpioni. Who's falling down the order here now? I'm trying to pick it up. Oh, it might have been Joao Vergara went off. Taylor, Weldon, Scorpioni, Elkin, and McNeely. So neither Taylor or McNeely. Argiro still 6th, Cameron 7th, Soto Sharipa 8th, Cooley 9th, and Boyad's is up to 10th. Golan runs 11th, Gio in 12th, Lionel 13th, the Gonzalez brothers 14th and 15th. Brendan Cooley up into 16th, Michael Succo, Hudson Potter, Griffin Yellen. So there you go. So the darker car that I thought may have been Taylor was actually Vergara in that primarily black and red exclusive car, and the Jay Howard car was Timothy Carell. Those drivers falling to 20th and 21st. And I'll tell you this, the incident in turn 1 with Jeffers has been huge for them, because they would have been miles back as they stack and repack, because I believe they were able to get kind of right back on the tail of the field. They were, so it's going to be huge for them. Jeffers, of course, we know is going to be at full song, trying to get himself around. Jeffers, who was able to move his way up with a couple of solid finishes, gets himself back up. Big finishes for Jack in both race 1 and race 2, benefiting from penalties to move to a couple of third-place finishes. That has brought him no closer to Taylor, because obviously Max Taylor with a win and a 6th-place finish, but does bring him from 6th to 5th, and actually most definitely within striking distance of 2nd. But again, 99 points still up for grabs. Taylor will not be 99 points up at the end of this one, I don't believe. So obviously he's got work to do still when we get to Portland. Jeffers doing whatever he can to try to close back up here. Crew will, of course, do the best they can to get things cleaned up. The AMR IndyCar safety crew, the absolute best in the business. They know our cars. They know our drivers. They know, you could see how much urgency they had, but controlled urgency. They got to the car, Jeffers, assessed the scene. They were getting the post put in the back that goes behind the driver's head into the the roll hoop. That way they can hook on and pull the car out. The procedures that they have and are able to execute so quickly is what allows us to get back to racing. And again, the key component of the USF Juniors program is seat time and racing laps. We want them racing as much as they can. We don't want them running around behind a yellow flag. That's why we run longer races when needed, longer windows. If we have to go red for extended cleanup, we can do that because we have the longer window of time. Field coming down through Canada Corner. Not quite sure where Jack Jeffers is as of yet. Going to pick up a couple of the extra cameras here. Whether he's got to the tail of the field, we'll have a look when they come around here. Yeah, cut out just a little too quickly there to see if Jack got up there. Pace cart's worked its way off. Field getting back at it with Max Taylor, your point leader. Okay, we've said this many times before. It's tough to be the leader here on a restart because you are a sitting duck for sure. The draft is going to get you, so Taylor's going to do the best he can. He'll come down to the inside of the racetrack, immediately go into the bottom. Green flag flies here at the start-finish line, so we're underway. And it looks to me like Jeffers did get to the tail of the field. That is big for Jack Jeffers. So indeed, it's actually Elkin getting the best run. Let's go 3 wide in the straightaway. Why not? 3 wide down into turn number 1. All the way around the outside, sweeps Elkin. He can't quite get by, and man, that's the first time we've seen a driver do that good of a job to hold the spot once again. And it's still Taylor as the leader. Elkin's going to try to go around the outside here. That is tough. Lots of runoff room. Oh, great job for Elkin. Remember, that's where Weldon got into both Taylor and McNeely in race number 2, so he thought better of it. We'll go 3 wide down into 5. The juniors like to keep it interesting, don't they? 3 wide down into 5. You'd think that maybe a championship's on the line. It is. Elkin potentially is going to lead here out of the corner. Now, I mentioned in the first race where I didn't like the fact that their end plates, I had trouble differentiating Elkin and Soto Chiripa. They actually do have different end plates, but I will be honest with everybody watching. I'm a little color deficient. So those 2 colors are very close to me. One driver getting shuffled off. That was team-on-team crime. That was 2 Jay Howard cars getting together coming out of turn number 7. I think probably McNeely and Argyros. One of them ended up 4 wheels off. Side by side for 7th coming through the carousel. Being on the outside of there is unnerving. Inside the same, you're not able to get the car to track out, so you have a lot of wheel on it. You can see how much time they've lost having to pedal it through the carousel. But the draft, so huge. You need to maximize the draft here at Mid-Ohio. Joshua Ileana talked about it in the pre-race, didn't he? That he really just had, we got contact. Drivers into the wall coming through the kettle bottoms. Drivers spinning into the wall. At least 2 cars. Everyone else making evasive maneuvers. Contact between drivers down in the kettle bottoms. And we have been great through 2 races. But finally, drivers lock wheels coming through the winding kettle bottoms between the kink and Canada Corner. Full course yellow. And 2 drivers involved. Too far away from me right now to be able to, I think, pick up who it is. Across the line will be Weldon. Elkin, Taylor, Scorpioni, trying to see who falls quickly coming in the order to see if I can pick somebody up here. I'm going to say Evan Cooley and Joshua Leonel, Augie Soto Chiripa as well. Those 3 drivers, I think, involved in that incident. That is tough. And again, when you're down there like that, you're wheeling on it, you're trying to, again, drivers just a lot of times have to be patient, as I had said, right? How many times have we talked about it? It was in my initial keys to the race where you had to be patient. Soto Chiripa still in a championship fight, now down to 22nd. Evan Cooley involved in that one as well. Joshua Leonel comes back across the line, so he's able to continue. So he's not one of the drivers involved in the incident, but he falls down into 19th. Weldon across the line, P1. Elkin in 2nd. Max Taylor 3rd. Leonardo Scorpioni in 4th. Liam McNeely now 5th. Christian Cameron 6th. G3 Argyro 7th. Michael Boyadzis 17th up to 8th. Diego Guillo in 9th, and Brady Golan rounding out the top 10 now. Issues early for Vergara. for Jeffers. Jeffers was not really even able to get his first pass done, as he was obviously getting to the tail of the field, and I think was probably just trying to check up a little bit there. Full course yellow being thrown here. 4 laps down. They'll put lap 5. It'll be halfway when they come back around. And not surprisingly, the red flag being brought out, red flag. So the red flag, very likely not for any severity of the incident, but more to save laps. We'll bring these drivers into pit lane. We don't want to burn laps driving around the yellow. So I believe this will be the halfway point when they come around. AMR IndyCar safety team on the scene. It almost looks like 3 cars down there, although 21 cars came back across the line to lap 4, it's only 3. Weldon is your leader. But again, action here. Things got a little hectic coming down into Canada Corner. And obviously, they ended up there near the start of the braking zone, but it started significantly earlier, as you could see, as there was contact. Field now slowly navigating itself through the incident. So tough to see the action that we saw there. Let's answer one of the comments potentially here on the chat. Motorsports Weekly asking, I hope we see Liam, Sebastian, and Ariel in USF 2000 next year, and I'd really like to see Max Taylor. I'd like to say Max Taylor is about ready for USF Pro. Well, let's start with Max Taylor. He's also in the championship fight for USF 2000, so most definitely he will be looking at moving up into the USF Pro 2000 category. I think that's where we'll see Max Taylor next year. Liam McNeely, no doubt. We're going to see him in USF 2000. He's done everything he wants to do. Sebastian Weldon. We'll see. We'll see whether or not we see him in USF 2000 or potentially going to Europe, right? I know that there's been talk about him potentially trying some European events. And Ariel Elkin, most definitely, I think will want, after 3 times a winner this year, right? Let's go tackle USF 2000. So I think you're going to see a lot of growth next year, and I really think that this USF Juniors program is going to be interesting for some drivers. There'll be those that come in with more limited experience that use it as a 2-year program, right? Get used to this car, the Titus JR23. Get used to the racetracks that we've been on. Maybe they're fresh out of Skip Barber or didn't do a lot of karting, and they'll do 2 years in USF Juniors. Although I think some as well, you coming out of a program, you were a top karter, you were a front-runner race winner in Skip Barber, whatever it may be. It's 1 year in these cars. You get comfortable. You're top 5, top 10. You're battling for race wins and podiums. And you're like, you know what? I'm ready to go up to USF 2000. And I think you'll see that. I think we're going to see a number of drivers from this category move up to USF 2000 in 2025. We'll try to get an update with what we can on the drivers, because the instance as they came through, there was significant damage. You're going to get that when you hit the wall in more aggressive ways like that. So again, red flag out. Being told that the drivers are out of the car and okay. I'll get a further update if possible. The umbrellas are out. It is significantly warmer here, 76 degrees trackside. I said there's a little bit of cloud, but primarily blue skies here today. You can see at the tail of the field there, some of the drivers are involved in incidents getting into the positions. Here's a better shot. To the right side there is Evan Cooley's car. They're bringing the flatbed out for one. We'll get a better feel for it. Augusto Soto Sharipa most definitely involved, and Evan Cooley as well. Red flag. Yeah, 4 laps officially in. We'll see what happens here. It happens again in the first race when we went red, where we didn't have the I don't think we counted that red flag lap, so I don't know whether or not we'll be 6 when they get started, or it'll be 6 when they get back to the line. Nonetheless, you can see the work being done. Yeah, this crew knows what they're doing for sure. but there's only so many vehicles that you have that are able to work on the cars here. They'll get this initial car up onto the flatbed. Let's come back with the fact that we do have 22 minutes still remaining to run 5 laps. Again, there's a proof positive, the reason why we run the 40-minute time windows. Looks like we may be bringing two flat. No, that's another tow truck there. Perfect. So they'll get this one car cinched down. We'll do the best we can to provide you with some information. The 91 and the 24, the only drivers involved in the incident, I'm being told. It looked to me like 3 cars at one point, but that was a longer shot. So Soto Sharipa's car is up on the flatbed now. As I said, this is the first time we've had any kind of an incident down in Kettle Bottoms. This weekend has pretty much been turn 3 and turn 5. Even the incident in turn number 8 with G3 Argyros, when that throttle got stuck on a little. No one injured in that one. We do have the EMT coming in just to make sure everything's okay. One of the questions we have in the chat right now, someone asking, DK asking what I think about the special projects for women like the F1 Academy. If my comment on that is, for any young driver, you take the opportunities you can get, right? If you can get it, if you're a young female racer, we'd love to, of course, have them in USF Juniors. I'm a firm believer. The beauty of motorsports is the fact that the car has no idea who's driving it. It has no idea who's putting the input into the wheel or into any of the pedals, right? So that's one of the things I love about it. There are certain requirements in terms of strength and focus and agility, and some cars are tougher to drive. Some cars have power steering, some don't. But when it comes to opportunities as well, again, we'd love to have as many young female racers in this program as possible, because I just believe they can, with all the things I do in karting, there are so many great young karters coming up through the ranks that I can just, name off some fantastic names like, Peyton Westcott, Sarah Bradley, Gia Cicero. You're thinking about some of these young drivers, Amy Rule in the shifter kart category, that are just tremendous young female racers. But when you get an opportunity to run in the F1 Academy at F1 weekends in a supported program like that, take full advantage of it, right? And while they're not racing, they're racing against their fellow gender in terms of racing against females. It's just such a fantastic platform to get a chance to be part of. And if not even just for the on-track action, but for the circus itself, right? The education that you'll have being part of F1 teams with all the F1 affiliations in the F1 Academy. It's a tremendous program, and you've seen, I follow all the young ladies on social media. I've connected with many of them as well to chat about their experiences, and it really is such a cool opportunity to be part of that world, right? That traveling circus. So, and indeed, but what I'm really looking forward to is when a driver is there for a couple of years and then transitions out, watching some drivers like Sophia Florsch and Abby Pulling running in some of the other programs. That's what I'm excited to see. When you come out of the F1 Academy, where's your next move? Are you into the F3 program? Are you coming overseas like Jamie Chadwick did? And, she's into her second year of Indy Next, and very impressive with a race win and showing the advancement. So that's kind of my deal there. That I want to see where they come when they get out of the academy, where they end up and how they perform. And obviously, Jamie Chadwick, who ran so many years in the W Series winning those championships, has proven her abilities in the Indy Next program. A lot of work being done here to clean up the incident. And, of course, we'll look at that time coming down. 18 minutes still to go. 5 laps. Probably only going to take about 15 minutes. Not even that. 14 minutes maybe to get that done. So we're closing in on the time that we may be up against the time window. But right now, one car is already up on the flatbed. They're getting the hook on Evan Cooley's machine, which shouldn't take that much time. The remainder of the crew is going to go to work making sure that track is clean into the braking zone of Canada Corner. So again, hello to all those of you who are watching on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel, or potentially watch it on the mobile app. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, do so. And one thing as well, if you haven't seen it yet, The new episode of The Climb from Toronto is now available, as is the one from Mid-Ohio before. So if you haven't seen any of our mini documentary, The Climb, where we really get up close and personal with a number of the drivers in the series, that's a really awesome package of programs to be able to watch and get closer. You learn a lot more about the drivers, kind of follow their footsteps and on their journey throughout the race season. So, again, check that out. You can get it on the YouTube channel. It's available on the app as well. The app has live timing, has my USF Pro Insider podcast there as well. And there you go, folks. A little round of applause right now for the AMR IndyCar USF Pro Championship safety team and all the good folks here from the track crew at Road America. Getting her done. Not the way Evan Cooley wanted to end this weekend. A couple of really strong runs in race 1 and race 2. And although a penalty in race 1 dropped him off the podium, this kid has got a lot. Evan is going to be a kid to watch next year in USF 2000. I'm telling you this right now. He is going to be a driver who's going to go for race wins and a potential championship next year. A lot of talent there. We'll fill his Cooley name, the Cooley position in USF Juniors with Brendan. Again, we talked to both of those drivers in that interview we aired after the pre-race show. There you have it. And we are, 15 and a half minutes? Not quite 15 and a half. I like the way this is lining up. We may get the whole thing in here. Championship battle tightening up in terms of second back to fifth. Max Taylor, of course, with a win in race 1, P6, coming back from the off-track excursion in 2. Taylor just getting the car fired. That was actually Weldon. Sebastian Weldon having a bit of trouble firing the engine on pit lane. He'll get himself rolling again. So Weldon, Elkin, Taylor, Scorpioni, and McNeely, your top 5. VRD, Inter-MS, VRD, Zanella, and Jay Howard. There's your teams in your top 5. Christian Cameron up into the 6th spot. G3 Argiro 7th. Michael Boyadzis in 8th. Diego Guillo in 9th. And Brady Golan rounding out the top 10. Like I said, we get back around here. I think we'll get this could be lap number 6 when we come back around to green. It may not be. So we're either going to have 4 or 5 laps left in this race. There is going to be time to get those in. Lap times at 2:15, we're going to be fine. People asking for replays. We don't actually have the replay ability here this weekend, folks. We're with a different crew. Normally when we're with the NTT IndyCar Series and working with the IMS Productions crew, we have replay capabilities. Not so this weekend, sadly. You'll have to have a look at it later, go back and rewatch the broadcasts. But here's the people I'd be watching right now who have the speed to move back forward, and those outside the top 10. Timmy Carell has had great speed. He's 15th. Right with him is Vergara, 16th, João Vergara, and then go back to Jack Jeffers in the 21st spot. Jack's got 4 laps, maybe 5, to see what he can do to work his way back forward. Now, the interesting thing is the guys up front, gloves will be off. 3 races remaining in Portland to cap off the championship. Still a big lead. Over a full race's points up for grabs right now. I mean, full race's points ahead for Taylor. That's the gap that he has, even with the issue before. Jeffers with fast lap of the race, 2:18.3. So that's a bonus point for Jeffers, but still a long way to go. There's the car, and this is why there's the reason why I thought that it was 3 cars involved. Soto Sharipa's car broken in half. That is not good. So essentially the gearbox and the rear wing, there you have it. That was the one that was sitting backwards towards us. I thought that was a different car. Yeah, that car made hard contact. Soto Sharipa, tough one for the kid who was so impressive throughout this weekend. It has been impressive. This is only his 3rd DNF of the year. And it's really only his 2nd DNF because he didn't start the opening race. Had an electrical issue, didn't start the opening race. Last race at VIR, somebody hooked his wheel. He barrel rolled it there coming out of turn number 14. And then contact here with he and Evan Cooley. Somehow, it looks to me like more guys were involved, but maybe those were the only 2 that got into the wall. But split that car in half. 21 cars still to come here. Let's get racing. Out of Billy Mitchell Bend, back to 14. Weldon's going to be on attack from Ariel Elkin, and I'll tell you, you don't need to push Ariel Elkin. Green flag already flying as they come around the corner. Everybody is on it. Back up the hill. Elkin already to the lead. Is able to make the jump. No. Okay, hold on. Weldon was... That's weird to me. Remember, Weldon was slow coming off the grid. Maybe they made Weldon hold the spot. He was not able to get the car fired coming off the grid. They finally did. So they moved him back to third. That's where he came onto the racetrack. He goes over the big jump at the far part of the track as well. Weldon maybe lose another position here. I want to say that Scorpione's been able to get by as well. Those cars very similar livery with the white, black, and yellow. So Elkin actually did take the lead, so they didn't move him back around. That was the confusion for me. So he did leave the grid on time, and they held the spots. Elkin is your leader. Taylor goes to second. Weldon trying around the outside of a Scorpione. Finally gets it done with a little bit of contact on exit. So update from race control that Weldon actually passed under the yellow, so they made him give up the spots. That's why they held him. So he passed under yellow, lost 2 positions. Our race control will do whatever they can to do a penalty in race if possible. That was picked up quickly. 2-position penalty in terms of giving spots up. So Weldon, indeed not late off the grid, but was held on the grid. And back we go to racing. Shout out to Diane Swintel, who is helping us out here. She's master of the chat, which is awesome. All right, we'll go side by side again. Make it a little bit more. A lot of action down here in Cattle Bobs. It feels like the pot's starting to boil over as it's been heating up throughout the weekend. That was our first stoppage for a major incident between 2 drivers. Again, we had stuck throttle in race 1, brought out a red flag, and then a single car incident in race number 2. That's the first time we've had a couple of drivers together like that to bring out a red flag, or first a yellow, of course, the full course yellow. 7 drivers in the lead group. Keep an eye on Jack Jeffers. What does he get here? He's going to be hoping for all the action. Weldon's going to go just enough to the left side. Elkin has the spot. Weldon's going to try to beat him. Yeah. Taylor's thinking about trying to go to the bottom. Elkin didn't want to give it up. All the action up front is not done. Big wide run for McNeely on the outside. They're using up all the exit. Weldon back to the inside of Elkin. Backs out of it. Again, couple of penalties we've seen on the weekend for drivers diving in. And Weldon had to back out of that one. This is going to really open the door. And here comes the 33 of Max Taylor. He'll take advantage of the draft. Back down into the braking zone at turn number 5. Jeffers up to 17th on that lap. Weldon goes back to the lead, though. He'll take it. Oh, way off the racetrack goes one of the D-Force cars, I think. Another driver's around. That's the 10 of Michael Succo. He'll be able to get the car back onto the racetrack. 7 laps in last time by, so they'll get the 2 to go when they come back to start-finish here. Elkin, I believe, back to the lead. I love this. These drivers are going back and forth. Limited horsepower, great aero, and a long racetrack with massive draft. I was talking to Dan DeMonte from the Skip Barber Racing School about being here back in the mid-2000s, watching the Skip Barber National Championship with drivers like Joseph Newgarden, Connor Daly, Gabby Chavez, Connor De Felipe. Just thinking about all of it. Sebastian Ordonez, Sage Karam, back in those days where this was exactly what happened. They passed 2 or 3 times on the straightaway because they had the Hanford strip on the back of the rear wing. Oh, those races were epic. We're seeing that here in USF Juniors. I think Weldon back to the outside, makes it stick, book it. He's through as well. Again, 2 to go this next time by, as I had said. Oh, a look to the inside there. Never like that pass. Whew. You give up so much trying to go to the inside at turn number 14. Being told potential blocking penalty for Elkin. So Elkin actually gave up the spot as he got caught for blocking. I assume the block moved to the inside on Max Taylor. so he had to give up a spot. Race control's all up on top of this one, folks. Taylor thinking about it. Look at Scorpione there. 14 years of age. He has been a revelation over the second half of the season. Zanella Racing dialing things in as well with Naka Zanella and engineer Ernie Ganella. Victor Franzoni there as well, a driver who has been a superstar in this entire program, formerly known as the Road to Indy. So they got to watch themselves further back there. Christian Cameron's in the fight as well. Oh, he gets right into the back. Bump drafting all the way down into turn number 5. You're not allowed to do that. Right on camera. Oh, big move to the inside of the racetrack as well. Taylor coming across the bow on McNeely. 8 drivers in the lead group. Jeffers up into 14th. White flag will fly next time by. Hold your breath, folks. This one's almost done. 4 drivers trying to break away. A Scorpione was right in there for a bit, now on the defensive. Look at him run that mid-line. This is going to allow the front 4 drivers to stretch away. Leonardo's trying to hold on to a spot covering off the bottom, but that doesn't give you fast race time. You're almost better to see if you can stay with the group in front of you, but it's a lead quartet breaking away in Weldon, Elkin, Taylor, and McNeely. 2 VRD cars, an Inter MS, and a J. Howard. All 4 of them in the championship fight. Jeffers to 14th, as I said. He is going to be digging to try to get himself back forward. 2 podiums for Jack Jeffers. Oh, too wide coming in to the move to the inside. Elkin may have got it, not quite. Weldon using all the racetrack. Oh, and he drops a wheel. That's a tough place to drop a wheel. And he may lose 1, maybe even 2. Yeah, it's so rough over there. He has lost a couple of spots. And he may lose another one here if McNeely gets a better run out of the corner. And he gets a fantastic run. He's on the gearbox. Oh, one driver all the way off the outside of the track. Hold on. Bringing it just back on as the white flag flies. Not sure who that was. It went 4 wheels off in 14. Final lap. They'll work through turn number 1 again. Jeffers now up into 13th position. 3 seconds behind Boadzis. He needs more. There's your front running quartet. This is it. Final lap. Elkin leads, trying to go back to back. Oh, mid-corner wiggle on the exit. That front had a tank slapper. Able to hold on to it. He's got a bit of a gap, but you know what the draft is like here. Weldon right out the back of Taylor. Weldon's going to try to go on the right side of Taylor down into the braking zone. Let's see if McNeely comes in to fill the gap there as well. McNeely looking to clean things up. He's waiting for contact between these 2 drivers. Not quite. Oh, almost. Oh, that was so close for the wing. McNeely look up to the inside. They're racing so hard further back. Jeffers trying to close. Thinking about those championship contenders. Jeffers the other guy that's in there. Soto Sharipa already out of it. His championship aspirations very slim now after the incident with Cooley. All right, last time through the famed carousel. 3-car length lead for Elkin, but that is not near enough for the draft to get out of these juniors' cars. That's Weldon into the 2nd spot. Taylor 3rd, McNeely 4th. Final lap, as we said. Into the cattle bottoms. And they are on top of each other again. Elkin's going to cover the bottom. No surprise. Around the outside thinking Weldon. He's tried it here a couple of times. No room for him this time. Back up the hill, and Elkin's going to have the lead. This one's lining up for a drag race to the line, folks. Ariel Elkin leading the way right now. Weldon's going to cover to Taylor. They're going to try to keep Taylor back. That's the key again. Big run for McNeely. All right, folks, do we get a photo finish? Up the hill. McNeely's going to try on Taylor. I don't know if Weldon's got enough. They'll come to the line. Almost contact. Who's going to win at the line? I think it's going to be Weldon. Coming across the line to finish it off. Who ends up winning? Sebastian Weldon by 45 thousandths of a second at the line. Weldon with the drag race. Elkin 2nd, Taylor 3rd, McNeely in 4th. Wow. Well, listen, the last lap was clean through to the end. The fact that we had issues in So many corners here. It could have happened anywhere. But we saw some patience, finally, of drivers setting themselves up. McNeely came so close to being able to get by Taylor as well. I think he had a really good run, but not quite enough. Elkin crested the hill. He looked like he had it. A bit of a jerking movement out of Weldon. If you go back and look at this replay later, he doesn't make a really nice transition over to the left side of the track. Maybe kind of reacting a little bit to Elkin. But Weldon ends up with a big victory for him. Coming back up. Wow. The margin of victory, 0.045. 45 thousandths of a second at the line for Sebastian Weldon. Ariel Elkin finishing in second. Max Taylor third. Liam McNeely in fourth. G3 Argyros in the fifth spot. Christian Cameron ends up in sixth. Leonardo Scorpioni in seventh. Diego Guillo in eighth. Timmy Carell ninth. Remember, I said to keep an eye on Carell. 15th to 9th over the last couple of laps for Timmy Carell. Well done. Brady Goal in 11th. Patricio Gonzalez 11th. Michael Boyadzis in 12th. Jack Jeffers gets himself back up into 13th. Ends up 1.5 back of Boyadzis. He needed a couple more laps to close up. Rodrigo Gonzalez 14th. Joshua Leonel 15th. Brendan Cooley ends up in the 16th spot. Joao Vergara 17th. Griffin Yellen, JT Hoskins, Michael Suko, and Hudson Potter round out the 21 drivers that brought it home to the finish. Lap 4 incident for Augie Soto Sharipa and Evan Cooley. Had them retired early down in Kettle Bottoms. Fast lap of the race to Sebastian Weldon as well, so I'll throw another bonus point up there for him. I don't know about most laps led because I'd have to go back and rewatch it because so many drivers led across the line. It was crazy. Well, that's 3 different winners on the weekend. Max Taylor, Ariel Elkin, and Sebastian Weldon. And Weldon wins another. Again, it's been feast or famine for Sebastian Weldon coming into the weekend. 3 of the last 5 races he had were DNFs. A couple penalties on the weekend here, but a big victory here to bring himself back into it. And Key is finishing behind Taylor, so both Weldon and Elkin will close on Taylor in the points. Jack Jeffers, although 13th, will not be happy with that. It's better than dead last, that's for sure. Still 99 points on offer in Portland, so we are a long way from figuring who the champion is. I don't even know if we'll be able to do it after race 1. Listen, that's an action track as well. There's not much you can say about the opening corner, festival curves there at Portland that couldn't keep everything up for grabs. Weldon coming in. Into victory lane for the young Florida driver. Skip Barber, Formula Car Series champion from last year, coming into the attention of his crew in victory lane. I'll be heading down there momentarily. There he is out of the car. Celebration for Sebastian Weldon. You know how crucial this one was. Weldon out of the car. His mechanic Jim Locke there as well. Dan Mitchell, the team owner, coming in. Team manager Jacob Loomis there as well. Max Taylor with a little congratulations for his teammate. So, folks, don't go anywhere. I'm going to take a quick run down to victory lane. We'll be back. Celebrations for race number 3 coming up next.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by, like, a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the years, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our most electrifying dream yet. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Made to inspire the newest generation of dreamers so they can make their dreams a reality. The all-new, all-electric Prologue from Honda.
It's a fresh start. It's a career's on the line. It's a great chapter. I think everybody's goal is to win a championship.
All this year is playing together, making a good championship season out of it.
It's the reason to keep me alive and the reason to keep me pushing.
I mean, a lot since I can keep going up the ladder.
All those champions and wanting to become part of that list.
The drivers are racing aggressive with me, I'll race aggressive with them.
The scholarship's incredibly important. It's obviously the goal for every driver.
I'm going to rewrite what happened last year in terms of that rivalry with him getting the best of me. When you win a race, it's the best feeling ever.
Field is stacked.
Hopefully this year we can have good luck.
Having the scholarship money to move up next year is really all I'm aiming for.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the years, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our most electrifying dream yet. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Made to inspire the newest generation of dreamers so they can make their dreams a reality. The all-new, all-electric Prologue from Honda.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the PFC Grand Prix of Road America, capping off a fantastic weekend here at America's National Park of Speed. Our last race of the 3 for USF Juniors, and it was a wild one for sure. A tremendous fight to the finish. Let's come up with the drivers here who were able to get to the podium here today, and it goes the championship heading now to Portland with 3 more races to go. Finishing in 3rd spot, he is your point leader heading to Portland for VRD Racing, Max Taylor. Finishing in 2nd, a wild race to the very end for Inter MS. P2 goes to Ariel Elkin. And as I said before, folks, 3 different winners on the weekend, and this driver getting himself back to the front. He needed this to get himself into the fight for the championship in Portland. Winning today for VRD Racing, Sebastian Weldon. Sebastian, quick chat. That was almost, I don't want to say must win, but when you get to the end here like that, and Max is running so good, you got to get the most points you can. Tell me a little bit about that race and what you wanted to do throughout it. Did you want to lead? Did you want to just stay in the front pack?
I definitely didn't want to lead until like the last couple laps. But yeah, I feel like I drove a pretty good race. The car was phenomenal, and yeah, I can't thank the team enough.
Overall, what was the strategy through the race, especially that last lap? Were you trying to just make sure you were 1st, 2nd, or 3rd over those last couple laps? I was just making sure I would be 2nd heading into the back straight, and luckily, Elkin had to give the position back, but yeah, I'm just really happy for the win. Who do you want to thank today? Andretti Autosport, Gamebridge, VRD, and all my other sponsors, and especially my mom and my brother. Nicely done. There he is, folks. Sebastian Weldon back on the top of the box here. Race number 3 at Road America. And again, as we said, the championship picture kind of getting a little more clear as the drivers remain in the fight. Augie Soto Sharip, as we know, the incident down with Evan Cooley in the Kettle Bottoms. That definitely hurts his chances. Still 5 or 6 drivers in this championship fight with 99 points up for grabs. You cannot make a mistake in any one of the races, knowing that we're going to have a full field of drivers here in this USF Juniors event when we do get to Portland in a couple of weeks for the season finale of this year's USF Pro Championships. Drivers wrapping things up here with the trophy presentation. We'll cap off our coverage here momentarily. Just got to wrap up with one more thing. The champagne, of course, able to fly here right now. Drivers, do me a favor. Grab that champagne. Let's have a celebration to wrap things up, folks. The final race is done. Champagne sprays. Grip it and rip it. And a big victory for Sebastian Weldon. 3 different winners on the weekend. They're all on the podium right now. Taylor winning race 1, Elkin race 2, Weldon race number 3. That's how close it was up front. You didn't want to lead the last lap. It was a tough place to be. And indeed, a fantastic victory for Sebastian Weldon. Keep an eye out on all of our social media channels. We'll have the updated point standings for you. A better look at what things are going to be like when we head to Portland in 2 weeks' time. 3 championships up for grabs heading to Portland. Over $1.68 million in scholarships and awards doled out here in 2024. Thank you so much for being part of the action. Those of you who watch the broadcast on the YouTube channel or the mobile app, we do appreciate it. Great interacting with you throughout the race. That was a wild one for sure here in USF Juniors. This is the future of American Open Wheel Motorsports, the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series at the very first rung of our USF Pro Championships ladder system. Big thanks to everyone involved in the action, and on behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, thank you so much, folks. My name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.